Good morning. Thank you everyone for being here. I just want to give you an update that Mrs. Perez is inside with our chief counsel right now filing, and we will be a few more minutes. If you just be patient with me for a few more minutes. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Sarah Zagorski, and I serve as the Senior Director of Public Relations and Communications at Americans United for Life. Founded in 1971, Americans United for Life is the nation's oldest and largest pro-life law firm in the country. Our mission as litigators is to defend fundamental human rights, particularly in the areas of abortion, parental rights, and the protection of innocent minor girls from the harmful overreach of school bureaucrats. Today, I'm joined by our client, Ms. Zenaida Perez, an English for Speakers of Other Language teacher, ESOL, as well as Stephen H. Aden, Americans United for Life's Chief Legal Officer and General Counsel, and Monique A. Miles of Old Towne Associates. They will each provide statements and answer questions. We will also hear from John Mees, the CEO of Americans United for Life. Ms. Perez immigrated to the United States from Cuba in 1990 and began teaching for Fairfax County Public Schools in 2008. She has maintained a stellar record as an educator and experienced no trouble until reporting her allegations of school-facilitated abortions for minors, where she claims that Fairfax County Public Schools responded with retaliation. In addition to Ms. Perez, her counsel, and John Mees, we're joined by Becky Sheets and Lamar Rivera of Life First Virginia, a local pregnancy center here in Northern Virginia. Thank you for joining us, and I invite Ms. Perez to the podium now for her statement.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Ms. Perez, Zenaida Perez. I work as an English for Speakers of Other Languages teacher at Centreville High School within the Fairfax County Public Schools district. And for more than 3 years, I reported evidence of illegal abortions in my school. Students within my school trusted me with their most personal stories. One telling me about how another school employee approached her and told her she had no other choice but to abort her baby. The appointment was scheduled, and her boyfriend took her to the abortion clinic. After investigating, I discovered her legal guardian had not been notified or even given a consent form to the abortion. And all this is contrary to Virginia law. A second girl told me she had been offered an abortion by the same school employee, but she refused. This girl was 5 months pregnant at the time she was told she needed an abortion. Thankfully, her legal guardian helped her, and she helped her raise her baby. The baby is older than a year right now. When I reported the stories on these girls, I faced retaliation and defamation of character by school administrators. Multiple attempts outlined in my lawsuit were made to discredit me and attacked me personally, despite my stellar records as an educator, going professionally above and beyond for the students that I serve. Unfortunately, I must stand here before the Fairfax County Circuit Court to seek justice, not only for myself, but also for those that are raising their voices now, and they are willing to stand to protect minor girls, teenagers, and the rights of parents from school bureaucrats seeking to harm them. I am confident that my attorneys, the state, and the federal authorities, and most importantly, God, will prevail, and we will see justice served and the truth will prevail. Now I'm going to tell you the statement in Spanish as well. Hola, mi nombre es Zenaida Perez y soy maestra de ESOL. ESOL means English for Speakers of Other Languages en la escuela de Centreville High School que pertenece al condado de Fairfax. Durante los últimos 3 años he estado abogando y sacando a la luz evidencias con respecto a abortos ilícitos que han tenido lugar en la escuela donde trabajo. He sido perseguida por los administradores, quienes ferozmente me han difamado, me han atacado, me han calumniado, y producto de eso he tomado la decisión de demandarlos. Y en esa demanda se exponen las razones y los motivos por los que he tomado esa decisión. Tengo confianza y fe absoluta en mis abogados y estoy segura de que la justicia y la verdad, con Dios mediante, saldrán a la luz muy pronto. Gracias.
Hi, my name is Becky Sheets. I'm the CEO of Life First Pregnancy Center. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to share what could have been an alternative to the story which has had so many tragic outcomes for the young women, for their families, and for other women like them. There are thousands of pregnancy centers across the country to help women in crisis to make fully informed choices. There are 10 in Prince William, Fairfax, and Loudoun counties. Pregnancy centers provide free medical services to women who are struggling with unplanned pregnancy. And we're here for one simple reason. Women deserve better than abortion. Who among us wants to live in a community where the only choice a frightened woman has is to abort her baby? Unfortunately, that is the only choice that these girls were forced to make. They were lied to and told that they didn't deserve any better. Every single woman has more than one choice. She has three. If she chooses abortion, she'll need to know how far along she is, because that will inform the type of abortion she'll receive. She'll need to confirm that the pregnancy is in the uterus. The abortion pill is not effective with ectopic pregnancies, and they can have very serious health risks for the mother. And she needs to know if the pregnancy is viable. How does she get answers to these questions? Only through ultrasound. And that's where pregnancy centers come in. At pregnancy centers like ours, known as First Care Women's Health, she receives a free ultrasound by a licensed medical professional. She receives education on the abortion procedure that would be most medically suitable for her if that's the choice she wants to make. She also receives education on the risk of abortion and what to expect. That's known as informed consent, and it's necessary for her to make a fully informed choice. She has two other options. She can choose life for her baby and parent, or she can choose life for her baby and make an adoption plan. And how does she arrive at the decision that's right for her? Through listening, through caring, through education, through respect, through kindness, through love, not through coercion, deception, and fear. At pregnancy centers, she's listened to, she's heard. We ask her, what do you want? What support do you have? What do you need? If she wants to give life to her child, there are hundreds of resources to come alongside her in our community for free and reduced price. These resources span prenatal care, financial support, emotional support, and counseling. Pregnancy centers value families. When minors come to us, we encourage parents or guardians to be involved. We provide educations to parents on the trauma of abortion. Regardless of her age, it is illegal for anyone to force a woman to have an abortion. And that's the type of education we provide to our patients. We hear a lot of rhetoric about empowerment. If we truly want to empower women, even young women, she deserves information on all of her options. Pregnancy centers are here to help her make a fully informed choice. All of our services are free, entirely donor supported, because of people in our community want to see children have a right to be born and want to see moms have an opportunity to see and hear the truth. True choice is never made out of fear. This story could have ended differently for these girls if they had been presented with alternatives and true choice. These girls and others throughout our community deserve better than abortion. And now my colleague, Lamar Rivera, who's the Center Director of Manassas Life First, is going to share these comments in Spanish.
Muy buenos días, mi nombre es Lamar Rivera, directora de First Care Women's Health. Gracias por la oportunidad de compartir lo que pudo haber sido una alternativa a esta historia, la cual ha tenido tantos trágicos resultados para las jóvenes, sus familias y otras mujeres como ellas. Hay miles de centros de embarazo alrededor de todo el país para ayudar a mujeres en crisis a tomar decisiones completamente informadas. Hay más de 10 en los condados de Prince William, Fairfax y Loudoun. Los centros de embarazo proveen servicios médicos gratuitos a mujeres que están luchando con un embarazo no planificado. Nosotros estamos aquí por una simple razón. Las mujeres merecen algo mejor que el aborto. ¿Quién entre nosotros quiere vivir en una comunidad donde la única opción que una mujer atemorizada tiene es abortar a su bebé? Desafortunadamente, esta es la opción que estas jóvenes fueron forzadas a escoger. Se les mintió y se les dijo que ellas no merecían algo mejor. Cada mujer tiene más de una opción, ella tiene 3. Si escoge el aborto, ella necesita saber cuánto tiempo tiene de gestación, porque eso le indicará el tipo de aborto que se realizaría. Ella necesita confirmar que el embarazo está en el útero. La píldora abortiva no es efectiva en embarazos ectópicos y estos embarazos pueden tener riesgos muy serios para su salud. Ella también necesita saber si el embarazo es viable. ¿Cómo ella obtiene respuestas a estas preguntas? Solamente a través de un ultrasonido. Ahí es cuando los centros de embarazo entran en el panorama. En centros de embarazo como First Care Women's Health, las mujeres reciben un ultrasonido gratuito realizado por un profesional médico licenciado. Ellas reciben educación acerca del procedimiento de aborto que sería el más adecuado para ella si ese fuera el curso que ella escogiera. También reciben educación acerca de los riesgos del aborto y qué esperar del mismo. Esto se conoce como consentimiento informado y es necesario para que ellas tomen una decisión completamente informada. La mujer tiene otras 2 opciones. Ella puede escoger vida para su bebé y criarlo, o puede escoger vida para su bebé y hacer un plan de adopción. ¿Cómo puede ella llegar a una decisión que sea correcta para ella? Por medio del escuchar, de la educación, el cuidado, el respeto, la amabilidad y el amor. No a través de la coerción, del engaño ni el miedo. En los centros de embarazo, ella es escuchada. Les preguntamos, ¿qué quieres hacer? ¿Qué apoyo tienes? ¿Qué necesitas? Si ella quiere darle vida a su bebé, hay cientos de recursos disponibles para ella, muchos de ellos gratis y con tarifas reducidas. Estos recursos incluyen cuidado prenatal, apoyo financiero, apoyo emocional y consejería. Los centros de embarazo valoran a las familias. Cuando menores vienen a nosotros, animamos a los padres o guardianes a estar involucrados. Proveemos educación para los padres acerca del trauma del aborto. No importa su edad, es ilegal que cualquier persona obligue a una mujer a realizarse un aborto. Este es el tipo de educación que le proveemos a nuestras pacientes. Escuchamos mucha retórica acerca del empoderamiento. Si realmente queremos empoderar a las mujeres, aún a las jóvenes, ellas merecen información de todas sus opciones. Los centros de embarazo estamos aquí para ayudarlas a tomar una decisión completamente informada. Todos nuestros servicios son gratuitos porque somos totalmente sostenidos por donaciones de personas en nuestra comunidad que quieren ver que niños tengan la oportunidad de nacer y mamás que tengan la oportunidad de ver y escuchar la verdad. Una opción verdadera no se toma a base del miedo. La historia pudo haber terminado diferente si estas niñas se le hubieran presentado alternativas y una opción verdadera. Estas niñas y otras como ellas, a través de nuestra comunidad, merecen algo mucho mejor que el aborto.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Monique Miles, and I am so pleased and just satisfied that we did what we did today. I admire Zenaida so much, so much. I can't even tell you. And when I was reached out to by AUL, I heard about the case. I'd seen the reports on the news, and I was just very impassioned. My blood started to boil thinking about something like that happening at my alma mater, Centreville High School. I graduated in 1998. And to think about the 2 teen moms that I knew when I walked the halls there, and the fact that their boys are now in their 20s doing great things in life, to imagine a social worker coming up to them and telling them, oh, you're not going to be successful in life. You know, you got to terminate this pregnancy. It's just a fetus. Well, thank God that these 2 women were believers and they kept their babies. They made a decision for life. So they're great examples. And I'm thankful that we were able to get this filing done today. The claims were for whistleblower retaliation and retaliation in violation of the Constitution, as well as defamation. And it saddens me that Zenaida is now on administrative leave. And for what? Because she reported the things that she reported. She engaged in the protected activity. And so we had to fight for her. We had to put to rest this claim that she had somehow done something unlawful or misled people. That is absolutely false. She has so much courage. So I am so happy to be her representative, and I'm here today to answer any questions that the press might have. But that's it. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming and showing your support to Mrs. Perez. My name is Steve Aden. I have the privilege of serving as General Counsel to Americans United for Life. Together with Ms. Miles, we have the privilege of representing Mrs. Perez as she pursues justice against her employer, Fairfax County Public Schools, for its vindictive actions and libelous statements against her in retaliation for seeking to bring to light the practice of underground abortion trafficking in her school. The lawsuit we filed this morning against Fairfax County Public Schools and several of its officers is just the first step in that pursuit of justice. You've probably heard charges flung back and forth in the media about Mrs. Perez and her courageous statements against Fairfax officials. Lost in the noise is the fact that these events really happened to real people, and young girls are left to suffer for it. Through it all, Superintendent Michelle Reed's multi-million-dollar K Street law firm has disparaged Mrs. Perez, placed her on leave, and repeatedly threatened her termination. We filed this lawsuit in order to put a stop to all of that and to force Fairfax Public Schools to give Mrs. Perez what it hasn't given her throughout this whole process: respect and due process. Our judicial system is the foundation of civil society because it requires all sides to an argument to make their case under oath before a jury of their peers, not hiding behind high-powered lawyers in the press. Mrs. Perez welcomes the opportunity to do that, and we're privileged to stand with her as we look forward to that day. Thank you all for coming. Monique and I will be happy to answer your questions now, but I think we're going to hear from Mr. Miles.
Good morning. I'm John Mize, and I have the honor of serving as CEO of Americans United for Life. Thank you all for coming this morning, and thanks to all who've spoken out about this grave injustice. Also, thank you to Zenaida for bringing light to the darkness, for your perseverance from the constant harassment and intimidation from Fairfax County Public Schools, and for so boldly exposing this targeted attack on vulnerable and underserved minors. As a father of 4 and a foster family that has housed over 30 children over the years, and as a proud citizen of the Commonwealth, I believe deeply in preserving parental rights and ensuring parents always have the authority to determine their child's welfare. We are resolute in our efforts to bring justice to Ms. Perez and ensure the intentional targeting of minors for abortion without parental consent doesn't become commonplace in our great state. Abortion is a stain on the moral conscience of our country. And in order to restore human dignity for all people, regardless of location, it starts with holding people accountable. Thank you all for your prayers and support as we work doggedly on behalf of vulnerable people. Thank you all.
Thank you, John Mize. We will now take questions. Monique and Steve, I welcome you up here to the podium if there's any questions from the press.
Good morning. Nathaniel with the Virginia Mercury. I was hoping you all might speak about the claims. Can you tell us a little bit more about those? It sounded like there were 3 claims that I heard, but could you please speak a little bit about them? What we'll see in the city.
Yeah, Monique, you want to address that?
Sure.
The claims are for defamation per se. There's a claim of retaliation under the Virginia Whistleblower Protection Law. There's also 2 separate counts for retaliation in violation of the United States First Amendment, United States Constitution First Amendment, as well as the Commonwealth of Virginia Constitution. So there's 4 in total.
You mentioned kind of a lack of respect feeling. What are you seeking with this lawsuit for Mrs. Perez? What's the end goal? And maybe not just in the case, but in general, what you hope to accomplish?
They have disparaged her character, virtually destroyed her reputation with her peers, with her friends at Centreville High School, with the community. They have run her through the ringer in the press, and we want justice and compensation for all of that in our civil system. Once again, in order to prevail, the court will provide compensation, and that's appropriate in this case because She has served well and wholeheartedly for 17 years as a teacher of ESL. And now it's come to this. And we think that she more than deserves not only that, but the restoration of her reputation. Frankly, we'd also like to see Fairfax County Public Schools ensure that this does not happen in any public school district in the county, that they do in-service training. They make sure that their social workers, their school nurses, and their staff all understand that this is illegal activity and it's not to be done in any Fairfax County public school. Monique, would you like to add anything?
I would like to add that I would like to see the individuals involved with the defamation and the wrongful behavior disciplined for their actions that were in violation of law.
Question for Ms. Perez. If I'm correct, I heard that you've been working with the school division for almost 20 years. Can you explain what your process was like thinking about the idea of having to file this suit against the school division?
Zenaida, you can go ahead and answer that, but
Yes.
let's talk directly about how you feel about this morning, how you feel about filing the lawsuit, and look at that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your question. I feel hopeful that justice will be served. I trust my lawyers and I trust God, like I said, and truth and sincerity and honesty will prevail. And I felt retaliated against. I was absolutely slandered, and they told a lot of things on the media that were absolutely not true. And we will come out with the truth, and we will prevail with honesty. Of course, sí, por supuesto. Es un honor estar aquí. Tengo completo apoyo de mis abogados y estoy absolutamente confiada en que la verdad saldrá a relucir y que las víctimas también van a recibir justicia y que los culpables por todo este slander, difamación, calumnias y mentiras sobre este caso también reciban su merecido y lo que ellos han sembrado. Justicia significa que las estudiantes que han sido tratadas de una manera horrible, las estudiantes que han sido victimizadas con abortos ilegales siendo menor de edad y no consultarle a su familia y a sus padres, pues que reciban el apoyo que es necesario, que se merece. Eso ya fue respondido por mis abogados cuando contestaron anteriormente. Gracias.
All right, sir.
That marks the conclusion of our press conference. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any further questions. Thank you so much. Again, Sarah Zagorski, Americans United for Life. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you.